It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. And I'm sure, as many of y'all know, it's on every weekday now, 8 a.m. here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. And please take a moment to support the show and learn more over at tampabayradio.com. Over there on the show info button on the menu bar, all shows are available on demand. And you can also see all the guests that have been on this show. And we're coming up on our one-year anniversary on February 2nd. And we've had probably over 300 some guests on this program. So very excited to be coming up on the one-year anniversary of the 5-day-a-week business show. And to celebrate that, on January 25th, we're hosting the first annual That Business Show Awards dinner that's going to be at the Center Club. Tickets are still available, but it's going to be an awards show with many people from around the area. All the past guests from the program are going to be potentially nominated for one of several different awards. So if you've been listening to the show for a while and you'd like to come out and meet some of the guests that have been on the program, it is open to the public. You can get tickets available over there on tampabayradio.com. There is a scrolling marquee across the top of the homepage. Just click on that and pick up some tickets. And we do have limited number of tickets available. So if you're interested in that, please pick up the tickets as soon as possible. Also, this is Wednesdays, so it's a Working Women Wednesdays, our weekly feature brought to us by the Working Women of Tampa Bay Networking Group. And on the phone line, I got Jessica Ravelli, CEO and founder of the group, with me this morning. Jessica, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jamie. Happy New Year.
Same to you. And you've got a big event coming up here in just about a week or so. And talk to us about this kickoff lunch.
Yeah, so we already have our events underway. We actually have one this morning. So we're already hard and back at work when it comes to connecting women in the Tampa Bay business community. But our big event is that kicks off our 2016 calendar is at Ruth Eckerd Hall. And I had mentioned it previously on Working Women Wednesday, but we have Deanne Turner, who is the Vice President of Talent, coming in from Chick-fil-A. But we also have an amazing panel right after Deanne speaks about the power of branding when it comes to small businesses. And your two guests today, Nancy Walker and Jen Gratian, are two of the women that will be sitting on our panel. So I'm really excited for you guys to talk about branding and women in small businesses today. That'll be the topic of the panel that they speak at on the 14th. But you'll get a sneak peek this morning, and tickets are still on sale. And once again, that's January 14th. 10:30 to 1 o'clock at Ruth Eckerd Hall, and workingwomen@tampabay.com is where you find the tickets.
All right, sounds like a plan. And Jessica, we do have a full lineup here of talking points today, so we'll go ahead and move on to the guests. And I appreciate you, as always, supporting the show each and every Wednesdays here on Working Women Wednesdays.
Have a great show, Jamie.
Thank you, Jessica. And again, that was Jessica Ravelli, CEO and founder of the Working Women of Tampa Bay Networking Group. Learn more about her and her organization, workingwomenoftampabay.com. Time to bring in my guests for the program. We're going to be talking about branding today. I've got Nancy Walker, president and founder of Walker Brands, in the studio. Today, her company is an award-winning firm that helps clients bring their brands to life across all communication touchpoints. She is joined in studio by Jen Gratian, a founder and executive director for Clear Labs, an unagency concept that is fully transparent marketing solution and consulting hybrid between the agency who holds you hostage and the freelancer you don't have time to manage. Jen and Nancy, welcome to the program today.
Hi.
So, Jen, I will start with you. What do you mean by unagency?
Well, the traditional ad agency is a way of the past, probably. Those of us who've been in the business a while know that the traditional structure has become more fractioned and disjointed, and small businesses especially want more transparency and more accessibility. And technology has just made so many things accessible. Everything from everybody knows a graphic designer, everybody has somebody who can do a website for them, or they can place ads for themselves on social media channels or digital channels. So, when you kind of take this traditional structure and you blend it with the freelance accessibility, and we give our clients the access to these freelancers to custom curate teams that are right for their projects. You kind of get this great blending of opportunities.
So you have like a workspace where different people collaborate, so to speak?
We do. So we offer this space to freelancers so that they can come in and work together and collaborate. They don't have to work alone in a spare bedroom or in a Starbucks.
Right.
But these are people who are really experienced veterans in the industry. They've been to the big show. They've worked for the big agencies. Or maybe they're recent grads. They're really talented graphic designers or web developers coming out of school, and they can't find a job, so they're needing to freelance. So we pull these people together and give them the space to either work on their own independent projects or, again, curate teams to fulfill
Is the
client
space
needs.
offered then free of charge to the freelancer if they give back their time, or how does this model work?
We have two different programs. One is a co-working space. It is for a nominal fee. It just covers, some very basic overhead costs of the space. But then the really experienced veteran talent, most of them are either, university adjunct professors or they've worked in the industry 20 years plus. We will offer them completely free space in exchange for mentorship. So we run a really aggressive internship program with all the local universities, and those professors or those veteran creative professionals can come in and mentor these students through their internship.
So tell me about the different types of freelance professionals that you have. What areas are you covering, and what areas are you lacking and you need people in?
Well, we have everything from photographers, copywriters, media buyers, account executives even. We have a lot of, freelance account people, folks who can actually help you run and project manage. Of course, graphic designers. As far as what we're looking for, we're just always looking for folks who are loving the freelance life. It's not a temporary way of life for them just because they're temporarily out of work, but it's really a career choice that they've made. They're very entrepreneurial. They enjoy that freelance lifestyle, and they are working creatives in the advertising industry.
Very interesting. And where is your space located?
We're in downtown St. Petersburg in the Grand Central District.
That's a great area going on.
We
right
love
now.
it.
It's so much going
Perfect
on, so
place.
much development, so much entrepreneurism going on over
It's
there.
awesome. And the city is so incredibly supportive of not only entrepreneurship, but the arts. So we have a great relationship with the city, and we really enjoy being down there. And, it's just great. You can work 7 days a week and be happy because you've got all the museums and galleries and bars and restaurants, and you can just really have a fantastic.
Every weekend there's live music.
Yeah,
it's
live
awesome.
exhibitions.
It's great.
It
You can
is.
hear the live music from my office, so I don't even mind being there late at night. It makes it fun. Makes life fun.
Nancy, let's throw it over to you. You're president of Walker Brands. Tell me the history of your company.
Great. Thanks, Jamie. Well, I started the business 23 years ago, and my background is creative, so I'm a creative by trade, and I started doing work generally in the graphic design arena, and as I worked longer with clients, found out that really what they needed was the strategy part of it. There's a lot. It's easy to execute, easy to implement. And 10 years into the business, we added a strategic arm, really helping clients with strategic planning. And we today offer fully integrated programs for clients, all the way from creating a logo to creating experiences now, helping them with their advertising, doing the research to plan the positioning. And it focuses, most of our work is focused in the destination arena. Clients that have physical spaces where they offer their products and services, and that bleeds right into offering experiences for their customers.
Now, when you begin working with a new client, how long do you tell them it takes to develop a brand?
Great question. Really, everybody already has a brand. So that's a misnomer that you have to come and get a brand. What we're in the business for is really helping clients evolve their brand.
And get it recognizable. That's the point I'm getting at.
Get-
Everybody does have a brand. You're correct. But how do you get that brand to the community, to the market, so to speak?
Well, generally, we're putting together annual plans. So we start with really creating positioning, a platform. What is your promise to your customers? Understanding the strategy way before we're executing. And that takes a couple months to do the research, to create the positioning, to create the essence of the brand, really articulate that. That then moves into the arena where we start to execute on various touch points. And that may be advertising, that may be creating experiences, collateral. We're oftentimes developing interior and environmental graphics for clients that have physical spaces. So depending on the budget and the the realm in which a client is operating, we can get somebody up and running fairly quickly after the strategy's developed. But the goal is that it doesn't start and stop, that it's a constantly evolving product.
What is, for people that try to, or many of us, try to develop our own brands, what are some common mistakes that you see people making when they're developing their brand? Like I see a lot of people that have a brand, but they don't have a logo, for instance. I mean, that's just kind of basic. But tell me some of the mistakes that you see.
I think the biggest mistake is that people don't have a strategy. We say all the time that the world is full of ready, fire, aim, and aim is really the most important part. It's just like developing a business plan. You just don't get in business, hang a sign on the door, and you start offering services or products to customers. That you really think about who are you going after, how are you going to be different, how are you going to separate yourself from what we call the sea of sameness out there. So helping people to really articulate what they're offering, why they're offering it, how they're going to be different, and how they're going to take it to market. And so that's generally people are quick to get to market, and we ask them to slow down, create a plan, and we think at the end of the day that creates great efficiency.
And who is your niche client out there, or do you have a niche client?
We do have a niche client. We started in the tourism business because there's so much of it in Florida. We worked with the Mouse over in Orlando for many, many years, and then moved into hospitality. And for the past decade, we've been very involved in real estate development, mixed-use development, generally a client that has a physical place where they're offering their product or service so that we can really leverage that investment and help clients create a branded space.
Very interesting. Got to take a quick break, but coming back from the break, we're going to talk about some of the trends that Nancy and Jen are seeing in the branding space. And you're currently listening to the Working Women Wednesdays feature of That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305. Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank. And that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Still have delays in both directions of north and southbound 275 in the area of State Road 60. That's due to a crash on the shoulder on southbound 275 just past State Road 60. Also a crash now on Oldsmar, Tampa Road at Forest Lakes Boulevard, Roosevelt, just east of US 19 in the Largo area, and also in Wesley Chapel, State Road 54, westbound direction near Foxwood Boulevard. See traffic problems? Call the entry firm of Abrahamson, Utica, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Boys and Girls Club of America.
It's 3 p.m. School's out for America's kids. And when school's out, clubs are in. It's time to support the Boys and Girls Clubs. Visit greatfutures.org.
Today, a mix of clouds and sun with just a 10% rain chance, high 73. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 57. Tomorrow, mix of clouds and sunshine with a high 75.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business, every weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. And please learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. And also help support the Working Women of Tampa Bay on this Working Women Wednesdays, and visit WorkingWomenOfTampaBay.com for more information and learn about one of their or some of their many events that they do each and every month. Currently in studio with Nancy Walker, president of Walker Brands. You can learn more about her and her company at WalkerBrands.com. And Jen Gratian, executive director of Clear Labs. Learn more about her at ClearLabs.org. And Nancy, I mean, there's a lot of trends. I mean, the trends in branding have been shifting so much over the last 10 years. I mean, what do we owe these shifts in the branding to?
Great, Jamie. It is really incredible what's going on. I think we're not even aware at the rate that technology has changed our landscape. Of course, we've seen it in the political landscape and the economic landscape of many years ago, but it continues to accelerate. And it really is now that the customer is more in charge than ever. It used to be that institutions had all the power, the government, education, corporations, and now because things are so transparent and that people can get information at the tip of a button, that we are now seeing the customer more and more in charge, not only of their decisions, but in communicating brands and participating in brand projection.
And so you hear so much about social media these days, and there's just so much confusion as to where you put your dollar and stuff. I mean, do different industries benefit from different outlets in terms of branding?
Absolutely. You still have to look at the social channels just the way you did traditional media. So you're looking at who's using them, and is that the target audience for you? So if somebody's on Twitter and your customer is not of the profile to be using Twitter, then that's not necessarily where you're spending much time and you're not in advertising. Facebook today is ubiquitous. It's all over the place, and we're seeing that cross all kinds of genders and boundaries. And as the marketplace gets more saturated with social channels, we're seeing more segmentation. So it's still really important to study who's on those channels, and is that your customer? And if so, that's where you need to be.
Jen, tell me how you think the branding has evolved over the past 10 years or so due to technology.
Well, I mean, as Nancy said, I think that the social arm of things has really, really created a huge change because of the instantaneous nature of the access to your brand information. I also think that companies have to be very aware that because of that instantaneous access and because of the nature of online reviews, or because of for the small business owner, they have their own access to their own information to post things about themselves so easily. They have to be really careful. I'll use a small business example might be like a restaurant owner who maybe makes a post about somebody coming into their restaurant and maybe how we recently had this recent issue, this poor woman who had a heart attack in a restaurant, and one of the customers made a post about how it ruined her dining experience. And the restaurant owner was able to counter back really immediately to that person's negative post. You know, you kind of have to be careful in what you do because everybody's watching, everybody's reading. So, you know, it used to be back in the day, we'd have time to think about what we wanted to say. And we still do have that time, but for some reason we feel like we're so rushed and we need to say something really quickly in response, and we don't take the time to really think about the strategy of what we're trying to present and how our brand is
you see that from people a lot now when they're frustrated with an airline or something, they tag them on a social media post. Is it advisable for then the business owners to respond to them, or should they just ignore it?
Yes. I mean, I think, you know, if you are part of that social channel and people are making comments about you or to you, you do have the responsibility to respond. You just really need to know what your brand's message and strategy is and put emotion to the side a little bit in those responses. And, you know, it's the classic challenge of text messaging and email too. You know, you might receive an email from somebody and you read it a certain way because you expect that somebody's saying something to you that way. It's the same thing with social media. You have to be really careful about the tone that you use, the language that you use, how you present that language, because it can affect you and your brand.
Yeah, one area that I struggle with is I only want to put out a professional image. I don't want to put out a personal image on my social media. Is that a mistake for somebody who is a radio show host? And also, I'm a realtor too, so I wear two hats each and every day.
Well, we're seeing transparency, and people are really looking for authenticity and realness. You know, corporations for a long time, too glossy, too airbrushed, too stoic. And today customers see right through it. And so you're having to kind of balance that, to be yourself, to be real, to say you're sorry, especially in social. Back to your question of how do we respond? We respond quickly.
Yeah.
We respond quickly. We apologize. We're at people saying, I'm sorry, forgiving. That is a big part now of being an authentic brand and showing that you're real and not an institution, but you're real human beings. And that's really where emotion comes into play. And customers are looking for real people.
Even with the political stuff, too, should you be out there, you know, espousing your own opinions on the political situation, or should certain industries stay away from that? I mean, what's your take on that?
Again, it goes back to strategy. So you're really looking if the political agenda is in line with your organization's mission, then you do want to take sides and you want to be very articulate about how that's helping your customers in a way that is strategic for you. So if your personal attributes align with your business, then you need to be making sure that what you're saying is actually supporting your company.
So the average consumer today is exposed to some 3,000 different brand messages. How does a business owner set themselves apart from all these different messages then today?
Great question. Distinction is the number one keyword in branding. Today, what you're looking for is not to talk about what you do, but how you're different. How does a customer select you over other marketplace choices? So it's really looking at first deciding what your white space is, how can you compete out there. So distinction is and being different and helping the customer know what value you offer over other offerings.
You hear a lot about using video today in social media and online and stuff. Do you incorporate, recommend video use with a lot of your clients today?
Absolutely. We're seeing that more and more. This goes back to what we call data visualization, and clients are really trying to reach the customer in ways that are easier and quicker. And we see this just with the explosion of YouTube, and even Twitter feeds now having imagery on it has completely changed the Twitter landscape. And so it's just a picture's worth 1,000 words is truer now than ever before. We can get it really quickly. It's very emotive. And so anytime you can incorporate digital imagery, even illustration is coming back today. You see mind mapping all over as people are talking. People don't want information. They want understanding, and they want to understand it quickly and easily.
Yeah, and we're seeing a movement away from the traditional methods such as billboards, radio, and television, and so much pumped into online advertising. I got to take another quick break. Currently in studio with Nancy Walker, president of Walker Brands, and Jen Grecian, executive director of Clear Labs. You can learn more about them at walkerbrands.com and clearlabs.org. And you're also listening to the Working Woman Wednesdays feature of That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tile, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Good morning. Very slow traffic on southbound 275 from Dale Mabry as you head out towards the Howard Franklin Bridge. Had a crash just past State Road 60 on the shoulder the last couple hours. It was just cleared, so traffic should be getting better through that area. Of course, typical delays in the opposite direction off the bridge into Tampa. Crash in Oldsmar on Tampa Road at Forest Lakes Boulevard. See traffic problems, call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. When buying a thermometer, trust over 50 published studies supporting the accuracy of the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Your family deserves the best. The Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. Pick one up at Toys R Us, Babies R Us, or other fine retailers today.
Winds, weather center forecasts, partly to mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. See warmer temperatures as we get into the lower 70s. With a slight chance for an isolated shower, around 10%. Upper 50s tonight for the low. See mid-70s for tomorrow all the way through the weekend. Rain chance back in the forecast on Friday at 40%. Impact Radio 1250 Winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to the program, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. And also a reminder that the show has expanded to include a sixth show each and every week. That show airs Sunday mornings at 5 a.m. on 970 WFLA, titled That Business Show, the Real Estate Edition, where I and my co-host Frank Cotto of the Lincoln Lending Group talk all about real estate, taxes, mortgages, insurance, getting back to my roots, in which I started on radio to begin with over 2 years ago, talking real estate. And keep in mind, I am a realtor with Coldwell Banker, so if I can in any way help you buying or selling real estate, please consider me your resource, and I do offer a free home valuation to all of my listeners. Just head over to TampaBayRadio.com and click on the Sell Your Home link on the homepage, and we'll get you over a home valuation, typically within 24 to 48 business hours. It's also Wednesday, so please help support the Working Women of Tampa Bay Networking Group, workingwomenoftampabay.com. And I'm in studio with Nancy Walker, president of Walker Brands, and Jen Grecian, executive director with Clear Labs. And so, Nancy, there's a number of different trends that are driving the changes in branding. One of them, culture drives distinction. What do you mean by this?
Well, culture today is one of the greatest differentiators out there. We're seeing just so many businesses are selling the same types of products and services. It's called mass commoditization. And so often one of the only distinctions that you can offer the customer is really your people. So the people that are delivering or making those products and services. The other reason that culture is so important is because it used to be that you could just talk about your brand. But when the customer comes to meet you at the place where the transaction takes place, where they have your experience, your services, or your products, the person that's delivering it needs to really be in sync with what your advertising is saying. So we used to see that companies would jump right to the marketing department, get the logo done, get the ad out there, and none of the employees knew what it was about. Nobody was trained to be on brand, as we say. So we ask companies to really brand from the inside out, making sure that everybody internally is projecting the brand, is on board with the brand, and that way we say all of your touch points are aligned.
Yeah, it seems to me like Google controls so much of the online marketing space that Google is just going to, eat up all these little companies, through the years and stuff. So there's just so many different people in these so many different spaces. I mean, but how can they compete with these huge brands like Google out there when they're all trying to compete in the service industry online?
Well, again, it goes to distinction. There's white space. You've got to find it. You've got to find what is the customer not getting in this space that I can, in fact, deliver. And that's really where the focus needs to be, because when you focus on everything that your competitors are focusing on, then the customer isn't understanding why you offer a value that's better or different than everybody else.
Another trend that you're seeing, a content collaboration. Explain this.
Well, content collaboration is really driven by social today, that you're asking customers to help you project your brand. There's so much noise being made out there, and customers are talking about your brand whether you know it or not. So nobody has enough money to advertise anymore. You've got to tap into this massive amount of dialogue that's happening and getting your customers engaged, asking them questions, getting them to share, talk about your experiences, giving them tools. For companies that have figured out how to utilize the customer in their social feeds and within their social circles are really getting an edge on the companies that are still trying to go at it alone.
And Jen, your company Clear Labs incorporates this very well, content collaboration.
Absolutely. That actually a great example. About 5 years ago, we had a client that is in the biodegradable bag business. They have a fully biodegradable and compostable bag products. And so, you're thinking, well, how is this really interesting, something that you can visualize and content collaborate on? They were very focused on their images. They were very focused on their logo, and they were very focused on their, their ad campaign and what was going on there. And all of a sudden, we realized that there were all of these people, without us actually running a social media campaign, a Facebook campaign or a YouTube campaign, there were all of their consumers that were actually using their product, just posting their own proactive videos about the product and how great the product was online. So we said, hey, we need to jump in on this. The consumer has really created this marketing opportunity for you. Look how much they love this product. Let's leverage this and utilize it to encourage more of this type of social sharing and use the content that the client is creating, because it's so incredibly authentic when you can do that. It's not just coming from a marketing department or an advertising agency. It's coming from the people who are actually using your product.
So, Nancy, should businesses today use the old school methods like the billboards and the bus benches? Are those still, a cost-effective way to expand your brand, or are they not?
They are cost-effective, and they are still being used. No question, digital is growing at leaps and bounds beyond what we're seeing in the traditional space, but oftentimes it's the combination of both. You're driving down the road, you see a billboard, it reminds you of something, you get online at the office, and then you're into the website and into different resources online that can help you continue to get informed and engaged. So oftentimes it is still traditional that will get you to notice something, but either one of those alone is going to be less effective than a combination. So you really just have to look at who's your market and where are they getting informed.
My radio show, for example, I mean, it's based on AM radio, but AM radio is really an old dinosaur product of the marketing business. But I incorporate so many other mediums to get the message out. I live stream the video each and every morning. I put it up on iTunes. I have a YouTube channel, a
Get the
SoundCloud.
Radio Clown for free.
Well, yeah, got the Radio Clown over here for free.
He's fantastic, by the way.
And so I incorporate many different channels, but you've got to find other ways to get your message out to the consumers.
No question. That's a really great strategy. I was really excited to see that you're using online, that you've got video, that you've got photography, that you've got
a radio clown.
The radio clown. I mean, right there's the distinction. What more do you need?
Yeah, you have no idea how much is going on in the studio right now.
I'm not wearing any pants.
There's flamethrowers.
And another thing I do people can do is simply start a podcast. It's very easily to do, and it's a way to differentiate yourself, because there's a lot of different ways, to create a brand, but differentiation is key, and you got to find a way to make yourself stand out amongst your competition. Creating a podcast, very simple thing to do. I mean, a few $100 and a computer and a microphone, and you can have an iTunes podcast, and you're a podcaster, and you can spread that message easily across social media. So a tip that I always recommend that people utilize. So another trend that you are seeing in branding, a data visualization. What do you mean by this?
Well, that's just a fancy word for using images, using video, using photography, using illustration. People want information quickly. They're online. They want to be able to navigate. They tire very easily. If your website is hard to navigate, they won't stay online. If you've got drones and drones of pages of text or information, they won't read through it. So the quicker you can get to your point, and again, the adage, photos worth 1,000 words, it is really true. And video has really become one of the fastest growing mediums. So to your point, the more that you can get online and tell your story both with audio and visual, then you've doubled your impact.
Do some industries have to follow a certain marketing method? And as we were talking off the break, that attorneys all have the same kind of marketing concept, that they come on and call me on my cell phone, and they're standing there, they're sitting there in their suit and stuff. I mean, but why don't they ever get more excitable or something? I mean, is that just what's expected of attorneys online or on advertising?
Well, Jamie, you're a realtor. I want to know, is your photo on your business card?
I've got a couple different ones. One of them is, one of them is not.
I mean, that's a real question, because realtors they position themselves a lot. They're known for positioning themselves with that photo, right? The photo's either on their business card, or maybe they buy a bus bench somewhere. And really, you're doing something very different. I think you're a perfect example. You've decided to run this radio show, right? And so you're finding a way of getting a relationship built with your audience, where they get to know you on a much bigger, deeper cultural level. Besides just handing them a business card with your photo on it, you're letting people get to know you on a regular
No, that's very true.
basis.
That's definitely one reason I do the radio show, is to differentiate myself from the other real estate professionals, and I'm pretty well known across the business community because of that. So that gives me instant credibility that the average real estate professional does not. But I'm just always bothered by, I see all the attorney commercials and they're just so bland. I'm like, come on, dress this up a little bit. But I don't know, do they get looked down upon by other attorneys when they don't follow
are they
follow
trying
the norm?
to protect professionalism?
Yeah.
I don't get it either.
It's really copying the competition. Unfortunately, it's the easiest thing to do, and we see it all the time. Of course, we're looking at what our competition is doing. Instead of doing something differently, which is really what we should be focusing on, we just try and one-up each other. So some of that is ego-driven. Some of that's because it's easier. Some of it's because their customers are talking about their competitors and they're seeing their competitors there. Sometimes we make purchases and recommendations because we don't want to not be in a space. But the stronger, more powerful opportunity is to claim a space that your competitors aren't in, as long as that's where your customers are too.
Another trend, simplification. Explain this.
Well, it goes back to today. It's just clutter, noise. Nobody has enough time. Everybody's time starved. The simpler you can make it, the better. And I think it's really why small businesses today are really running the country. It's the large institutions, too many layers, too complex, organizational structure just really became almost unnavigable. So we're really seeing the quicker that you can get your message out in a way that people understand it, the sooner you're going to create trust and loyalty and advocacy for your brand.
And experience obviously speaks volumes. That's another big trend that you have, in the world of branding. Talk to us about the importance of experience for a business.
Great. And Jen and I were just speaking about this. One of the greatest opportunities you have if you're selling a product is, instead of just giving information on your product, that you are in fact creating places and experiences for your customers to come together, so that you can really experience it and not just hear about it or learn about it. The more senses you engage, the stronger the memory. The stronger the memory of that product or service, the more valuable it is.
And testimonials, I think, are a great way to develop your brand. That's very underutilized. Every time you have a satisfied client, you should go after them for a testimonial. What's your opinion on that?
That's right. It's a tried and true method, and it's still as strong today as it's always been. And we're seeing that just with the opinions that are going. We've got TripAdvisor and every social channel like that, and companies that are really offering that feedback from the customer is a way to just bring those endorsements to life. And it's also a way that your brands aren't what you say they are, they're what your customer says they are. And that's the easiest way to get the message out, is to use those testimonials and those comments.
And business owners should embrace negative testimonials too, and consumers should not necessarily look down upon a business because they have a negative testimonial. They should see how they react to it and improve on their processes.
That's right. That's right. It's really following another trend, which is being real, which is being transparent. I think people are looking for real people. They're not looking for plastic and fake. They want to be able to say you're sorry. We see that over and over as we, you said the airlines have screwed up and they've figured out ways to quickly get online and apologize and offer. We have a lot of elasticity in terms of forgiveness as humans, and when companies start to act like humans, as long as we are able to say, we made an error, we apologize, we appreciate your feedback, and we're going to make good on it. That oftentimes that is a stronger way to grow your brand than putting out information that isn't in fact real.
And don't you want that? I mean, don't you really love the opportunity to know that people are saying something positive or negative about you and have that opportunity to respond versus 20 years ago when somebody would just be upset and walk around and tell all their neighbors and tell all their friends and not really give you that public opportunity to make that good. So it's not just about dealing with a negative review. It's about embracing that and turning that into a positive.
Yeah, the only thing I'd advise is, when you give negative reviews, give some type of constructive feedback, and just to consumers and stuff. It always bothers me when you see
complain.
an emotional rant of some sort. I'm very big on professionalism, obviously, and so if you got something to say about a business, then say it, but offer some type of constructive feedback. And I know it's tough for the business owners when they get an emotional response to something, not to fire back emotionally, but you really got to remain professional.
And as a consumer, I really like the opportunity to interact with the business owner, and I feel like I'm being heard and I'm not just swept aside as a mindless customer too. So
well, that goes back to what I was saying about really controlling your emotion and knowing the strategy for your brand too, because you have to realize that there's a lot of people who will just rant and they'll complain, but you also cannot think that your consumers are stupid. They're not. They're smart. And so when we see a negative review, we read more than just maybe that one negative review. We're going to read the other 2 reviews that are on top of that. Now, if you consistently have negative reviews about your service, that's an issue. You need to deal with that. If you have dirty bathrooms and surly wait staff, my ad campaign is not going to help you, okay? And you need to deal with that. But if you're getting one random negative review from somebody who's just clearly a ranter and the rest of them are positive, don't feel like you have to fire back on that emotionally, because then you just become the bad guy. Trust that your consumer is going to see that there's 5 or 6 really positive things that are said about you to that one negative thing. And they're going to understand. Everybody knows that there's just some negative people out there in the world. So trust your consumer to be a little bit smarter and understand that too.
Good information. Got to take a quick break. Coming back from the break, we'll finish up this great discussion on branding. In studio again with Nancy Walker, president of Walker Brands, and Jen Grecian, executive director at Clear Labs. And you're listening to the Working Women Wednesdays feature of That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305. Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Things looking a whole lot better on the interstates around Tampa Bay. Southbound 275, though, still a bit slow from Fletcher to Sly, and southbound Veterans just a bit slow from Linebaugh to Waters. Interstate 275 off the Howard Franklin Bridge looks a whole lot better. Now, in the southbound direction, northbound, of course, typical delays through the exit there at Kennedy and Memorial, and also a crash in Oldsmar at Tampa Road at Forest Lakes Boulevard, slowing traffic through that area. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson, New York, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by News Channel 8 at 8 on Great 38. Don't wait until 10 p.m. for your late news. Get the news you need earlier at 8 p.m. Introducing News Channel 8 at 8 on Great 38. The power of News Channel 8's on your side. Coverage now on WTTA. Great 38, 7 nights a week at 8.
Today, a mix of clouds and sun with just a 10% rain chance, high 73. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 57. Tomorrow, mix of clouds and sunshine with a high 75.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Working Woman Wednesdays feature of That Business Show with Jamie Maloney. This feature every Wednesday at 8 o'clock here on 1250 Wins WHNZ is brought to us by the Working Women of Tampa Bay Networking Group. And you can learn more about them at workingwomenoftampabay.com. And also, please help support the show, tampabayradio.com. In studio again, Nancy Walker, president of Walker Brands, and Jen Grecian, executive director with Clear Labs. And we've been talking about the trends that we've been seeing in branding over the last couple of decades. And another one, Nancy, is to keep a really integrated plans, the power of integration. Explain this to the consumers or the business owners.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie. It's a very, very important tool in business today. We're seeing nobody has enough money, nobody has enough time. One of the ways to get ahead of it is really to create a plan. So the plan, you should look out annually, and you should look at what we call all our touch points. And your touch points are every time you're touching a customer. It certainly encompasses traditional marketing and advertising, but your touch points today are your experiences, it's your culture, it's your training, it's your marketing. Everything should be incorporated in a plan. And when you're able to do that, you're able to see how you can cross-pollinate your content, how you can create efficient programs that are really saying the same thing. It decreases fragmentation and it increases trust. So if I'm a customer and I'm coming into your physical space and I'm getting a vibe and how does it look and how does it feel, if I go home and go to your website and it looks like it's been done by a completely different author, it doesn't resonate with me, it's contrary to what I've just experienced in person, then customers don't trust your brand. So the way to get ahead of that is to see all of your touch points in one place to plan them so that you, again, are sharing that content, you're sharing that voice. We like to say, make sure everybody is singing from the same hymn book, and one of the ways to do that
and
is
you've really got to commit to a plan, and because I see a lot of business owners kind of use the shotgun approach to marketing and brand. They try the bus bench, and they quit doing that, and they throw up a billboard. They just try so many different things without integration.
That's right. It's the most expensive way to do it is one tactic at a time. And you're not able to leverage the fact that people want to see your brand in multiple places in multiple ways. And in order to be able to do that, you've got to see what your landscape looks like, and to see how many different mediums you can use, and to take a look at the customer journey and figure out how you can touch them multiple times through that decision-making process.
And another important trend is the power of listening.
Listening today, as in human interaction and in business to customer, it's just key. Clients, customers will tell you what they want. They'll tell you what they think. We see it today all over the landscape with social media. If you listen, should help define your products and services. So it's not just getting feedback, but data is all over the place today. There's qualitative, there's secondary research, there's ways people say, well, how do I learn about what my customer wants? We say, ask them.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them.
Yeah. And the last trend and very important thing is don't be boring.
Yeah, no, absolutely don't be boring. But when you're creating that plan and you're planning not to be boring, be really careful in being a small business owner. We're entrepreneurs, we're idea hamsters. We're always on that wheel. We're always coming up with new ideas, and we love to try to jump in there and execute them. And this goes back to what Nancy was saying about making sure that there's really a strategy in that plan and that those touch points come together. So you don't just end up with a bunch of fractioned ideas from that hamster wheel. Take a step back and really consider what your customer needs. I see so many businesses that think that their key differentiation point is really not their core competitive advantage. It's what they think is cool about their company, but it's not what their customer thinks is cool about their company. So when you're creating that plan, ask yourself why. That's the big question. Ask why. I always say that, ask why, not how. So figure out what your big why is, what your big strategy is, and then really consider what that key competitive differentiator is. What is it that your customer wants from you, not what you think is cool about you? And then build the strategy from there and put all those ideas in a box. Save them, put them aside if they don't fit in with that strategy to create a cohesive plan and touch point.
Yeah. Great discussion, and another great Working Women Wednesdays feature. Nancy Walker and Jen Grecian here in studio talking on behalf of their the branding strategies. Great discussion today, ladies. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. This was fun.
Great.
Absolutely. And again, that was Nancy Walker, president of Walker Brands. You can learn more about her over at walkerbrands.com. And Jen Grecian, executive director with Clear Labs. Learn more about her at clearlabs.org. And also, they'll be speaking at an upcoming Working Women Wednesdays kickoff lunch that's going to be held Thursday, January 14th at Ruth Eckerd Hall at 10:30 to 1 o'clock. And tickets are still available. Just head over to workingwomenoftampabay.com. Tickets currently $40 and $35 for members. Again, workingwomenoftampabay.com. Just click on the events tab across the home page. Be sure to tune in again each and every weekday morning. This show is on every single morning now, and it is a show about what the different business professionals in our community are doing, and it's a show with a positive message. And if you have any interest in becoming a guest on the show, please reach out to me. I'm always looking for guests and ideas. Reach out to me at the contact form over at tampabayradio.com. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
The opinions, viewpoints, and